Hello, Data Protection Excellence Network members. I bring you news on developments in the network for the first half of September. And the theme this time is standards-based compliance. And nothing more than the Data Protection Trustmark that's been in Singapore and making a lot of ripples. We've been getting a lot of requests, right, for consulting and for roadmaps in this area. So let me just go through with you. First, we conducted an interview, right, with Bei Chun Hao, who is the director at the PDPC of investigations, and we asked a few interesting questions. We actually pull out some highlights for those who have no time. So take a look at this one, right? We mentioned about the introduction of the cybersecurity trust marks. How does it position against the data protection trust marks? And he gave an interesting answer, right, on the type of companies that may benefit from either one or both. Right, so have a look at that video. Next, we have also articles and infographics on data protection trustmark in case you're investigating this, and a real life story as well. So let's take a look. Right, the 3 key reasons. Right, we wrote an article on this. Right, business opportunities. Right, credible review, and a symbol of trust. And this one we have even the infographics driven up for you. Right, and the key points. Next, we have a real life MD of 2 firms, right? And they are in the professional services space. One is in CorpSec, another one's in accounting. And he mentioned about his journey and what were the benefits, right, of going through Trustmarks for 2 companies at one go, right? And he definitely had a good ROI out of that, going through this journey. So have a listen, right? And in fact, if you need help, get us on a strategy call, no obligations, and we'll be happy to walk through with you in terms of what's needed and how long it takes, and is any possible route of funding. Next, roundtables. That DPEX network, our promise is actually to give you the best information, best practices, right, in a timely manner. And we have several roundtables. So let's take a look at a few. Then we have a DPOinBOX Academy, which happens every 2 weeks. This time around, we talk about risk management. Interestingly, many companies wondering how do they rationalize their risks and also reduce the number of overlapping controls. We'll show you how to do that. Next, DPO success or DPO roundtables. We have the next installment of this very popular series talking about enforcement case studies, breach response, right? And the last time we had a few hundred people on board and a lot of questions. So don't miss this out. Go join and register right now. Then the next installment of the DPOinBOX Academy, we'll talk about data inventory and data mapping. So it is beneficial for those who are on trial for DPOinBOX and maybe are new to DPOinBOX. And you're looking at how can you use the tool for automating some of the grunt work, right, in getting to a data protection management program. So apart from that, how are we looking at in terms of taking on competencies to support this standards-based compliance? If you look at now the jobs that we just pulled out also recently in Philippines, there are a lot of jobs coming, and they are now also escalating in terms of requiring certification, right, relevant qualifications. So have a look. We have a job section in the DPEX network, right? And this is a treasure trove, right, in terms of what kind of qualification you'll be looking at. Or if you're hunting for people, let us know. We can list them here, right? So for those who are aspiring to grow into, regional roles or data governance roles, what can you do? Well, I mentioned just now compliance in terms of standards base. So ISO 27701 is one that is useful for firms looking at regional compliance, right? Where if you're in Singapore, you'll be looking at the Trustmark. So we are actually implementing this on middle of October, right? Then we have also the CIPM. Next is the Data Protection Management Program. So this is interesting for people who are coming on board to implement a data protection management program, or you have new stakeholders that come into the firm, right? Business continuity management continues to be an important issue, especially those who are running mission critical operations and those who are looking at data governance. BCM is definitely one of them. In fact, even when you go through Trustmark, they do ask you how resilient your operations is, right? Now, if you are in a regional role, I just came back from Malaysia. There's a lot of interest in terms of, okay, what is the developments in data protection and data governance, right? There are a number of firms right now tightening up in terms of due diligence. So there is going to be changes in the PDPA Malaysia. So take on this particular one-day course. We made it very cost-effective for you or your staff to get updated on the latest in PDPA Malaysia, right? So with that, I hope that you get updated in terms of what is mega trend is happening, right? Which is standards-based compliance, due to higher due diligence, and it's already appearing in tenders in number of cases, right? And take advantage of all the resources we have and even a free strategy call. Just drop us a line and one of the advisors will be happy to speak with you, what's possible, what's the roadmap, and what's best for you, right? So 20-minute strategy calls, and this is something we've been doing very successfully in the recent months. And many firms and DPOs, right, either have a personal roadmap for development or their organization roadmap where they are headed next, especially towards the role of data governance. So signing out from the Data Protection Excellence Network.